In this video, we're gonna explain the safest to most dangerous types of motocross jumps. We're also, at the end of the video, gonna explain the most dangerous ways to jump these jumps. Our goal is to help you not crash on the jumps. All you have to do is watch this video and learn.
Tyler, I got a bet for you. You got to say yes or no before we even start on it.
Of course I'm gonna take your bets. You've been losing money to me left and right. I just need to know what it is.
All right, well, hope you don't die. So basically, I'm gonna challenge you to jump all the jumps you're gonna show off today. You gotta take off and land one-handed.
One-handed off the face, one hand on the landing?
Yes, sir.
On the most dangerous one?
Oh, yeah.
On the easiest one?
Oh, yeah.
And what happens? What are we winning? What do I win?
So if a subscribe, you gotta like, comment, and subscribe down below, y'all.
You guys.
But we're gonna give away $100 to 2 different people, and if I win, you gotta pay it. If you win, I gotta pay it.
Oh, that's easy. You're gonna pay that $200. Guys, I'm about to risk my life for you. If you don't like, subscribe, and comment, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Like, subscribe, comment, win this money. Let's go. The easiest is the earth nipple, also known as the single jump. We like to call it the earth nipple here. It's just one up and down, one roller. We use this to get in good body position and feel the feeling of going up and down. Another good thing that it's used for is getting some distance, right? Starting to get some air, starting to feel the tires lift off the ground and land back into the ground. It's really great for measuring distance. So you can come in, roll power arm from the bottom to the top, and put a little cone or a marker out and try to start working your way out, inching your way out. It's a great way, great safe way to start to learn how to jump the dirt bike. I got this one-handed thing.
Yeah, I know you got the earth nipple, dirt nipple. I'm not worried about you on this.
All right, well, let's go ahead and get this one out of the way. We're gonna make a little money for you guys. At the end of this video, we're announcing our $100 giveaway from the last video, so make sure you stick around and see if you won. The next most dangerous jump is actually a relatively safe jump and a great jump to learn on. It's called the tabletop. What that means is it goes up, flattens up on top like a tabletop, and then it has the downside where you land. What I love about these jumps and what we use these jumps for in our training is to jump out to a flat surface that's not super far down, like our earth nipple, like our single jump where you go down and you land a few feet down. Makes it a little harder on the landing. On the tabletop, you just jump up and you land on the top part of that surface, and it's a little less hard of a landing, and you can measure your distances to a downside a little better. So what I want you guys at home to do if you're just getting into jumping is find yourself a tabletop, measure 10 feet, measure 15, 20, and then however long the jump is, work your way towards the landing.
Dude, I know you got the one-hander on this. This one's easy. I'm a little more concerned on the next one, though. I know this will be easy for you.
This is 81 feet. I've measured this.
Maybe I'm a little less worried about losing my money now.
Feel that dust?
Yeah.
That's exactly how it's gonna feel when your money's moving out of your pocket and going to our subscribers. There's number 2, let's go. Number 3, in the category of jumps from safest and most dangerous, is gonna be the step-up jump. The step-up jump means the face of the jump, the takeoff of the jump, is lower than the landing of the jump. This jump is used for a few things. Getting used to jumping a gap distance where you can see the landing. You would be amazed at how much just having a visual on the landing helps you time the jump correctly. And remember, mistiming the jumps is what causes most of the crashes. And so after we've mastered our tabletop and we're getting to the downside and we're getting that feel, and again, the tabletops usually are blind, so we're starting to get some good feel, we move on to what would be called a gap jump, to where there's a landing that's different than the face of the jump, and you start to work on timing that. And you got a visual, so it's very important that you jump these before you jump a double, because you can't see the landing of a double. Did you see me overcome my fear? Did you see the no-hander?
What's your fear, son? No-hander?
Oh, you don't remember when I TKO'd myself doing a no-hander on the big double here?
Oh, yeah, I remember
I just did a no-hander.
Bro, hey, well, like I said...
I gotta still do a one-hander.
You gotta do
face,
a one-hander.
One-handed landing.
Bro, I didn't say a two-hander. You gotta do this again.
All right, well, I got this easy. All right, moving on to the next most dangerous jump. It's gonna be the step down. This is what we would call a step down double, which is a little bit more aggressive, but traditionally a step down is a jump face, and then it flattens out, and then it goes down. We'll show you what that looks like. But the reason the step down is just a little bit more safer than the double is because the landing isn't as aggressive. The landing is a peak, and you case that peak or you don't quite make it, it's very aggressive on how it gives you feedback, right? It's gonna kick you over the bars or just gonna be a really hard hit. So the step down's a nice jump to move on to kind of minimize the risk and minimize that hit and bounce that you'll get if you don't make it perfectly. And I'm about to jump this thing one-handed and make you guys some money. So
Dude, you are not gonna get this. Dude, you're not. It's over.
Why are you always scared of me like that?
Dude, I feel like you're gonna run into me.
When are you gonna give me and my homies, my subscribers, a challenge?
Huh?
When are you gonna give us a real challenge?
Dude, I don't think you're gonna make the quad.
Who said there's gonna be a quad? All right, so moving on to something that gets a little more dangerous. We're talking about the double jump here. That means the jump face and the landing are typically about the same height, and you have a peak and a peak. Where this gets a little scary is if you don't make it. The case on a double jump is much more difficult than all of the other ones that we've explained. You want to make sure that you've got your timing really dialed in. We use this jump for just practicing our timing, and typically there's, you know, 3, 4, 5 doubles on each motocross track that you encounter. Mostly tabletops and step-ups and a little more safer stuff. So you don't want to mess around with these. It's sometimes easy to time these, jump to the middle, jump to the face, then jump to the landing. Sometimes they're so close that you just have to clear them. Always move out of the way. You're so scared. You want to know why you're so scared? What? You're probably not going to be able to pay your rent this month again.
Dude, I'm telling you, you ain't getting that quad.
I'm getting that quad, son.
You ain't doing the quad. You might do the double.
I might get the quad.
No, sir.
They call me the quad god. All right, the next most dangerous is the triple step up. So what this is a triple where the landing's higher than the face of the jump. It kind of fits in between the double and the actual triple. What's nice about this is that you're jumping up, so you're meeting the landing at the top of the arc of your jump, or closer to the arc of your jump, so the landing's not so hard if you case it, and you can work up to it by doubling up a few times to get a feel for the jump face. And I think I can hit this one-handed. It's actually closed down on the track that we have today, so this is a bit of a bonus tip. I don't know that I'm gonna be able to do this one-handed, but we got a couple other really good ones. All right, the next most dangerous jump is the triple jump. So what this is, just like the double, but one more peak. Why this is more dangerous is it usually takes more distance to get to the third peak with the second. Obviously, we've got to put a jump in between to make it a triple, so they're typically a little longer. You still got the same issues, but you can't necessarily see the landing, and you've got a peak that you're landing on, so it's very important that you downside that. But what is really nice about the triple is that sometimes you can work up to and get a feel for the jump face on the double portion of it. So you can double it up, 10, 15 times, get really comfortable, and then you can go ahead and launch the triple. So let's get into it, hit it a couple times. Not so bad, but it takes a little time. You definitely want to be a skilled rider before you're hitting the triples.
Yeah, and you better be a skilled rider if you're gonna one-hand triple.
Now I'm getting a little nervous with the one-hand thing. Like, it was all cool, dandy, fine, mellow, but now we're jumping jumps that are probably 65, 70 feet with peaks as the landing.
So am I gonna win this bet?
Not on the triple. I think I got the triple dialed in. MTB Starter Pack, you won the $100 giveaway from our last video. Congratulations, thanks for the comment, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Now you can buy your new plastics and graphics just like you were wanting. You won, brother. info@themxfactory, send us an email, we'll get you your money. So I kind of didn't realize something about the triple I was explaining earlier. It actually has an extra roller after it, and that would make it a quad, and that would probably make it the most dangerous jump that we're going to go over in this video. And that would probably make it pretty hard for me to win this one-handed trick contest that we're trying to do for a couple $100 for you. Looks like I may be paying you that. We'll see. Maybe I jumped a 120-foot quad with one hand. It's up in the air. But the last and most dangerous jump of our series is going to be the quad. The reason it's the most dangerous is because it's a long ways. Even if you put the rollers right on each other, to get 4 rollers is at least 80 to 90 to even 100 feet. I think this one's about 120. So let's jump it, see how it is. You guys be careful at home on the quads. Now, you hear it?
Are you gonna hit this?
With one hand?
Yeah.
I'm gonna test it. I'm gonna try the triple first. And I'm gonna talk, dude, the quad is big. That's at least 120 feet. And I've jumped it before, and you have to hit it pretty much wide open on a 450. I don't know about landing. It's such an aggressive landing with that one hand. I think I'm gonna have to pay the $200, dude. That's a long way. If the landing was bigger, I think I got the jump face one-handed, but I don't think I can land that thing one-handed. Not until I get my push-up. I gotta get some more push-ups in first.
There.
So I'm about to sacrifice my life to show you guys the worst way to jump the motorcycle. And I want you to be able to learn from these mistakes and what I do wrong here to make sure you don't do it at home. So we're gonna go over 6 things. The most dangerous thing that you can do on a motorcycle is an endo. The second most dangerous is gonna be a loop out. The third most dangerous is gonna be landing your bike sideways. The fourth is gonna be over jumping. The fifth is gonna be casing. And then the sixth is just a beautiful downside. Nice, smooth, and sweet, like a little Friday night date with your love. We know you guys love free stuff, so there's more free jumping tips in this video up here. And some of you guys are willing to pay for really good pro level technique, and you can find that here to keep you safer and make you faster.